gotta say the Rachel Lita pre-pandemic seems very different from the Rachel Lita of today.
Oh, absolutely. The Rachel Lita pre-pandemic let people walk all over her. She was a therapist, and she should have gotten paid way more for the crap that I know about people. That's tea, you know? So
I don't believe in therapy.
Oh, you don't?
Like being a therapist, like if you come to me, I don't like, you gotta know that I don't believe in giving it to you.
Oh, okay.
I will give you low grade toxic advice, and that is the best thing you can ask from me. Hello and welcome to the Beauty Ritual Podcast, the podcast that discusses everything age, beauty, and identity in a world where the pressure to conform rises every day. This is your dose of perfection correction. And in a little mini series that is structured solely on highlighting hair professionals, we have the one and only Rachel Lita, the girl you have a crush on Instagram because her hair is truly that good. We all know. We all know and we feel it.
You're making me blush.
And I live for that. I want it.
Can you see this?
That's not makeup.
Like, no.
That's not makeup. That's just compliments.
Oh my gosh.
That are true.
I'm honored to be here. Honored.
Thank you for coming in, girl.
My pleasure.
Honestly, I've been having like a weekend that is like a so-so weekend. Can I tell you? Like every time I'm thinking about this moment of sitting down with you, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to meet Rachel.
Stop. Oh my God.
That's how I feel.
I've been looking forward to this for weeks, so I'm very excited. This is amazing. I'm so happy to be here. You're amazing.
Mutual.
Mutual. Glasses, like.
For those of you watching, you better watch on YouTube, honestly, because we're starting to look so cute in the new salon that, you know, you should watch on YouTube. I know some of you like Spotify.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's so cute.
Right. So, with hairstylists in particular, obviously with anyone, I like to kind of go back and do a bit of a genesis, which is like, where are you from? What got you started? And like, what inspired you to get into beauty? Because I think that it's really interesting to know your artist.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, oh my gosh. Well, okay, let's take it way back.
Let's go.
We're going way back. So in high school, so let's take it even further back. When I was about 11 years old, okay, my mom used to ask me to color the back of her head because she couldn't, like, it would become uneven because she was using like the color from the drugstore.
Yeah.
And so, I really enjoyed doing it. And then after some time, I'd be like, Mom, like, when are we going to do your roots? And she's like, oh, no, I go somewhere now. And I'm like, you declined my invitation to color your hair?
Honestly, betrayal.
And I'm 11 years old? Betrayal. I was pissed. No, I'm just kidding. I would
have been.
No, but I was like, oh, okay. So then I started taking whatever old Barbie dolls I had, and I started like chopping their hair off. And my mom's like, what? Like the Cynthia doll. She's like, what? Why are you what is going on with your brain? I'm like, I don't know, nothing. Moving forward, high school, I was kind of like, you know, my senior year, I was like, gosh, like, what am I going to do? I initially wanted to go to law school, and then I realized that I didn't like school, so I wasn't going to do law school. So I was like, okay, what's like another thing that I enjoy doing? And I was like, I enjoy doing hair. So then I went straight into beauty school right after high school. And pretty much from there, you know, things just kind of, it was like one thing after another. So I wanted to be like the best colorist in the Valley. That was like my goal. So then I worked at the Beverly Wilshire Leia Journo salon. I started there. Do you know Leia Journo?
I worked there.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You did?
Straight up.
Wait, really? When?
Like I assisted. That was my first assisting job out of
Did you assist Leia?
I assisted Alex Gernard.
And you assisted Alex?
And I can't remember her name. She
Priscilla Lie.
No, well, I know Lie, but she was blonde French.
Oh, okay. So you probably came a couple years after me.
Dubois, her last name.
I know who you're talking about.
Do you know who?
Yes,
Okay.
I know exactly who you're
Like,
talking about.
I can see her face. For some reason, her name is escaping me right now because this is shocking.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, so I assisted Leia.
No wonder you're so fucking fire. This
No.
video is not for kids.
No, I thought you knew that. Yeah. So, okay.
I'm speechless.
Oh my God, look.
Wait, this is cool. We're family.
We're family, so you get it. So I worked with her for 2 years, and I assisted her, and then, we're two Capricorns, and it just didn't work out, but we love each other still. Like, I still see her sometimes because Priscilla does my extensions. When I get my do you know Priscilla?
I feel like I do.
Priscilla, really cute Latina girl.
Yeah, like big eyes.
Yes.
Of course I know
okay,
her.
so she's like one of my
It's been just a long time.
Yeah, so she's been one of my dear friends. So she does my extensions when I get them in.
Can I tell you my dream is to have Leia on the podcast? I want to interview Leia.
Oh, she would. Oh, that's easy. No problem.
Let's fucking go.
Oh, let's do it. Oh my God, I need to be here.
Can you please?
Oh, I would love to be here. Absolutely.
All right, done. You heard it.
We're gonna do it together soon. This is what's happening.
It's gonna be fucking round table talks.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
Girls, you know how crazy this is gonna get?
Oh my God. Okay.
Don't tell the people. We have to focus.
No, exactly. So, okay, so I assisted Leia, Leia and then the salon, for about 2 years. And then, I went back to the salon that I was a receptionist at before I got licensed, which was Glow Dry Bar in Calabasas.
I know it. Yeah. I've never been in, but I know
Yeah.
Like.
So it was like right when the whole Blow came out. The Blow Dry Bar. Yeah. So hers was Glow, and it was like different, and that whole thing. But so then I went back there, and then I was there maybe for like another year and a half, and I was like, am I allowed to cuss?
Girl, did you not hear what happened to me just now?
Fuck this. I was like, fuck this. I am not doing this. And my mom knew how unhappy I was. And she was like, you just need your own salon. I had already built up. I was fully booked. And she was taking 50% of what I was making. Sorry, TMI, but
listen, we've all been there. And I think, you can... Some people don't like to talk about it because it feels too vulnerable, but I think that most stylists have been in that position. I've been in that position where you have built up a great clientele, and the structure that you built it up in is no longer serving you.
Yeah. So it just wasn't it. I loved the owner. I think she's wonderful, and I still have respect for her. But I was like, I gotta do my own thing. So then I found, my mom helped me find, I got a salon suite off Fallbrook in West Hills. Oh my God, what are the salon suites? Phoenix Salon Suites. I was there probably 2 years, and then I switched over to Salon Republic in Topanga, and I was there for another 2 years. And then right when the pandemic hit, I was like, I'm done. I was kind of done with hair in general, but then I was like, you know what? Let me maybe kind of see if doing freelancing might be better for me, because it's more there's a lot more change. It's more it's not so mundane. I'm not doing Becky's Roots every 2 weeks.
I've got to say that the Rachel Lita pre-pandemic seems very different from the Rachel Lita of today.
Oh, absolutely. The Rachel Lita pre-pandemic let people walk all over her. She was a therapist, and she should have gotten paid way more for the crap that I know about people. That's tea, So
I don't believe in therapy.
Oh, you don't?
Like, being a therapist, like, if you come to me, I don't, like, you've got to know that I don't believe in giving it to you.
Oh, okay.
I will give you low-grade toxic advice, and that is the best thing you can ask from me.
See, no, I think my clients were so excited to see me every week because I'd be like so into it. I'd be like, wait, no, like, let's help you. Let's figure this out. Let's work. Like, I was in this problem with them.
I bet they loved it.
Yeah, and it was just too much. I let it consume me, and I was like,
I would be consumed, which is why, like, that's all you get.
Yeah, and so that wasn't, I was like, no. So then the pandemic hit, and I saw a couple, like, Facebook groups, and I was like, how am I going to do this freelancing thing? And originally, so again, another backtracked thought was I wanted to do TV and film. So I was like, oh, if I do hair, I'll do it for TV and film eventually. And I had a client who was in the industry, but that just never worked out for whatever reason. And then, so pandemic. And basically I just was throwing wet balls at a wall, hoping that they'd stick. And eventually it did.
What gave you faith to go through that period? Because I feel like anytime you are in a moment of transition, even if it's something that you're familiar with, it just takes everything to make a change.
Yeah. I think I was just ready for it. And I was like, well, it's either going to work or it's not.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, I'll find something else that works. I don't really, my mentality is never like I'm going to fail, because there's no way that you can actually fail, because there's always room for other things to happen. So you're never failing. Just maybe not in the category that you imagined it to be, but that doesn't mean that it can't happen later on.
It's so true.
You know?
It's so true. And honestly, like, my favorite entrepreneurs have said that to me in some variation or another.
Oh, I love that.
It's so good.
Yeah. No, but it's true. It's true. And I think failure is also like a mindset thing, and perspective. So if you take it as like, oh, I failed and I suck. Yeah, you suck and you failed. But if you take it as like, I failed, but I learned something and now I'm going to do it again, but maybe a little differently, I think that's a successful, motivating person. And that's someone who's going to get far with where they want to go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's not just belief in yourself. It's also that ability to, like, process what happened objectively, right? Because a lot of times with art, especially, it can feel really emotional.
Yeah.
And so, like, failures, quote unquote, right? Because I agree with you. I don't really believe that there are, like, failures. You learn something.
Right.
But depending on how, like, invested you are in the dream that you're trying to create, the fantasy, whatever that may be, it takes a really deep knowing of yourself.
Yeah.
To not give up.
I definitely think so. And I also think that sometimes I've watched people do it, and sometimes you got to fake it till you make it. Even if you don't believe in it or you don't believe that, if you want it bad enough, it'll happen.
That's fucking sexy.
Very sexy.
It really is. Honestly, why not?
Yeah, I think so.
Why not? Believe in yourself enough to get yourself through that, like, that period of dormancy and stillness.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Like, how many people believe in Britney and that she's going to not be insane anymore?
Work.
We love her, though.
Yeah.
But people talk about it all the time. It's the same thing.
It's like having it for yourself, though.
That's what I mean. Is like, how are you going to sit there and, like, believe in somebody else harder than you're going to believe in you and your dreams and your passions?
Everyone at home, I need you to write that down and look at it a few times, at least 3.
Write it down 7 times every day until you believe it.
That's good. I love myself as much as Brittany. So I have, I have one picture of you, which I think is post-pandemic. Like, really, I fell in love with you online. Like, truly slid in your DMs.
What picture? What are you talking about?
I've seen your work when you've, like, worked on set, and just, I love how extraordinary the looks are. I love how, like, they're beautiful, alien. Like, that kind of artistry you don't always get to see people, like, fly with.
Really?
I mean, I guess there are some, but like yours is so elevated and like luxury, and it's got its own like it's got its own feeling to it. It's not grungy, you know? Like not that there's anything wrong with grungy. I love that too. Very sexy, but like yours has this polish to it.
Oh, thanks. I try. Obviously, we're our own worst critics, so I think otherwise, but thank you.
I hear. So your transition from salon to that, like, what was the biggest difference you saw from being a freelancer to being in the salon?
So I think that they both have pros and cons. I think the industry is really hard to navigate alone. And like, if you don't have a mentor or someone to kind of like, not necessarily tell you what to do, but kind of like put you in the places that maybe you need to be. I feel very fortunate that at the time that I started, I think I was able to connect with a lot of people. I never really had like a mentor, but I was able to connect with people in a way where I got guided enough that I could figure it out by myself. But I think going into it as a freelancer, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
And you don't have the immediate community of being in a salon.
No, exactly. You don't like wake up and be like, oh my God, I get to see so-and-so and so-and-so at the salon today, and we get to gossip in the back and have lunch together. You know, you're kind of like in your car running around all around Los Angeles, making sure you get to whoever you need to get to on time, or you're on set all day and it's a 16-hour day and you're hurry up and wait. That's a lot of set. So it's like hurry up and wait, or you're in the salon all day constantly like entertaining either one person if you have a color correction, or you're entertaining multiple people. So there's similarities, but there are differences.
I think those are huge differences. And I think that your personality and your age matter a lot.
Yeah.
And not just age in terms of like how old of a number you are, but your age and maturity, because, you know, one person being on set needs to have an incredible amount of patience. Like being a buzzy stylist that like loves the action of a salon and like, boom, this and this color and this color, and like run and formulate. And then, you know, that is a high that I think you might expect to have something like that on set and be sorely disappointed.
Yeah, you're not going to have that.
No.
I mean, there will be moments like that, but it's chaos for 10 minutes and then it's dead silent for hours sometimes. You go up, touch it up a little bit, make sure it looks good. And I'm not saying that that's easy. I don't want to make it come across as like, oh, you just do a little touch up and you do a little hair here and there. Like, no. Especially if you're dealing with celebrities. I mean, you're dealing with that whole person, their insecurities, their yeses and their nos, their wants and needs, you know, so
you can't be asleep. Like those 3 hours that you weren't doing anything, like you can't just walk up there asleep. Like you have to be as on as you were when you started.
Especially if they're paying you the rates that
you deserve.
And that most people want, you know.
Period.
It'll get there eventually. So yeah.
I think that it's really good to try a lot of things, but I do think sometimes people like fantasize about either side. And they get a little bit like stuck.
Yes. I think there's a huge misconception as to what being a freelancer is. And freelancer, I think, has it's a wide term, right? So there's a lot. You can be a freelance painter, you can be a freelance blah blah blah. I know we're talking about hair, but
I'm just like looking at how far away this is from.
Sorry, I'm like
this is ASMR. We had an ASMR moment first on the podcast. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for joining.
Perfect time to ask Davines to sponsor this podcast.
Oh yeah, Davines, we love you. Sponsor us. So I'm sorry. Wait, what was I saying?
Honestly, we were talking a bit about people being in the salon versus being on set, and just kind of having like a confusion about, watch me not put my makeup like to where it should be. Having like I guess a confusion between the two spaces and what they're like. And I also feel like they sometimes, reach out to other stylists in an effort to kind of get that mentorship and that guidance, but they're also like not collected enough themselves to receive it. So it kind of comes across in strange ways. And I know you've probably experienced that.
Yeah, I would say I get a lot of people DMing me like, love your work. I would love to assist you if you're ever looking for an assistant. And I'm flattered and honored that I've gotten to that place that people want to learn from me. But I like if someone who does color is reaching out to me, like I'm not going to give them the time of day, because why am I going to teach you set styling when on your page all I see is color? That doesn't make sense to me.
I actually think that's interesting, because I don't think it's too much to ask for initiative and to kind of see some of the work that they're trying to do. And like, if they were really looking to branch out into that, and they're like, I'm interested, even making a smaller Instagram would be a way to like show someone like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I want to assist you and I want to learn more. I'm also a colorist, but like, I want to branch out into this, and to be clear about it, but not just to like kind of weekly throw it out there.
Yeah, I think that there's a way to go about it. And obviously, like, I started off as a colorist, but
so what would that way be?
So like, okay, what happened, the reason why I have that viewpoint is because of what I was taught from somebody that I looked up to. So we were on on the second Fenty show, and love him, Sean Fears. He's a great stylist, and he was so kind to me, and he was like, let me see your Instagram. And I showed him my Instagram, and he goes, respectfully, I would never hire you. And I was like, ooh, why not? And he goes, because
Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah. Well, he goes, because he's like, you slay at color, but I don't see your styling at all. And I was like, oh, so what do I need to do? He's like, if you want to be a colorist, you're going to post color. If you want to be a stylist, you're going to post styling. He's like, if you want to do both, then put both on there. He's like, but all I see is color. He's like, so as a professional and as somebody who's been doing this for a minute, he's like, I wouldn't hire you. I don't care how nice you are, how many times you DM me. If I don't see something that's doing what I'm doing, or even close to it, because you can still do color, but you can do a cute little updo and be like, oh my God, look at the color I did, but here's an updo version of it, as opposed to everybody does the to the side with the waves and here's the color.
I just want to take a moment to highlight these teachable moments that come across very blunt and harsh.
Yes, so I apologize.
Not at all. I don't think you should apologize. I think you bringing it up is a perfect example for people that want to get in this game.
Yeah.
To understand that when someone gives you the honesty like that, they are actually having your back and like setting you up for the future.
Right. Yes.
Because it's so clear. It's like, you know what to do, you know what not to do if this is the path that you want. And if your heart is aligned with that path, you take that knowledge and you run with it.
Yeah.
And if not, you throw it out the window.
Absolutely. And I'm saying this is for me. I'm not saying that all hairdressers are the same, or that I'm just saying that's how I view it. So when people DM me, I'm really not going to engage with you if I don't see that you're trying. You have to try. You have to try to build towards what you want to get to. You know what I mean? Because it's not just like, oh, let me like test it out. Does that make sense? Because then if you're testing it out, like, how do I know that you have good set etiquette? Set etiquette is huge. I feel like that's another.
Okay, well then you're going to have to tell me about it. Okay. Because honestly, when we hit hour 12, I'm hitting the craft table, and that's my etiquette.
Babe,
I'm going to Crafty.
You can hit Crafty the second you walk in, please.
No, but the trip to Crafty's at hour 12 is necessity.
Oh, yeah.
It's emotional Crafty's.
Yes, emotional Crafties with the crackers and the Diet Coke.
No, but please tell me.
Diet Coke.
Tell me more about your salon etiquette. Like, what's the Rachel Lita, like if you had a little etiquette card?
If I had an etiquette card, okay. I'm gonna sound so aggressive, and I don't mean to at all. But like, just be aware of your surroundings. Don't if you're not being talked to, don't speak. You know, it's like I've had people where they're just, and I'm like, it's not the time right now. If you're not self-aware, that's gonna bother me. I would probably kick you off set and be like, you can go home.
Talking is for the podcast, guys.
Yeah, talking is for the podcast. Okay. And I'm not saying you can't talk. I just think like you need to understand social skills. So like if someone is talking to me, that is not your opportunity to give your opinion unless asked. You're an assistant. That's just my opinion. And, you know, always make sure that your set bag is like you have everything and more. I always keep like extra stuff. So like I'll have like makeup remover wipes and lint rollers and like things that normally you wouldn't think of, but it's always good to have. That's a good assistant, someone who has extra and someone who's one step ahead of you, you know?
It's just a good stylist too, because you never know when you're going to make a moment for someone.
Right.
By having pasties in your kit. I have been that girl and honestly felt really good.
Pasties, tampons,
you never know.
Liners, the whole thing, male grooming stuff, lip balm, you know, people just need it. And the crazy thing is that when you have those things, people like oddly remember it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, oh yeah. So-and-so. Tylenol. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. Yeah. Always make sure you have Tylenol. I'm trying to think like what else etiquette-wise. You know, don't come in smelling like cigarettes. I don't care if you smoke cigarettes. I don't care if you smoke weed. I smoke weed. But if you smell like it and you're walking in on set, that's not cute.
I can't smoke anything. I'm a little bit of a baby, so this one I'm like, what?
You're like, what's
people
that?
do that? Oh, weird.
Well, yeah, people come in stoned all the time, and I'm like, hey,
no,
come in. I don't care.
Of course they do. I'm, playing dumb.
Yeah. You're playing a character right now.
A little bit, but there is like a part of me that like it's good to be reminded because even if you were, it's not on your radar. I love to bring things up in conversation that would elevate anyone in our industry, right?
Right.
Because like one thing for me that's like a no-brainer because I like would pass out from a puff of a cigarette, like to someone else, it could mean like the make or break professional situation for them,
Yeah. Well, and like even for the client, like don't wear too much perfume. Some people get like, they can't take it. Like I had a client, this is before I really did freelancing, but she was like one of my house call clients, very consistent, adored her, but I could never put on perfume. She could smell it. Even if I put on like a lotion that was perfumed, I couldn't wear it because she would just kick me out of her house.
Oh my God.
Like in the nicest way, she'd be like, it's just suffocating for her. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, just be a little easy on the Axe spray. We love it, but just.
It is an endocrine disruptor, right? Like that's proven. We understand that. And for some people, they're more sensitive to it than others.
Definitely.
Right? And depending on what your health situation is, you don't want to put someone in that situation.
Right.
But it is a good reminder.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am curious about being on set and the topic of licensing because this honestly has kind of sent me down a rabbit hole a bit because I started talking to like teachers of mine from Paul Mitchell who are going to have an episode with us soon. this cosmetology licensing issue has so many different pieces to it. But I know that licensing on set and licensing in a salon mean two very different things.
Right. Yeah.
How do you feel like you're affected by that?
Well, I mean, I don't like it. I think it kind of sucks because it's like
having to be licensed?
No, I think you should. I think you should be licensed to work on set because you're still dealing with people's heads. You know what I mean? You're not maybe doing color, or maybe you are. There's a lot of unlicensed hairstylists who are wonderful. We love them, but there's a lot of them out there, freelancers who are killing the game, but it's a little bit like, damn. So I went to school, I put myself through all that, and then you're just over here living my dream, and you didn't put yourself through school or any of that crap. Got it.
Trigger warning, I'm going to ask a very aggressive question.
Ask.
In a very objective way.
Okay.
Why not report that? Because if you're someone who put $40,000 down, or whatever you put, right?
Right.
Some schools are more, some schools are less.
Right.
To get your license and to abide by the state board.
Right.
And someone else is infringing on market share. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
None of this is going to come across nice, but it really is a question because what we're talking about here, what we're beginning to talk about is reform.
Right.
So what's your answer to that?
Karma, I just don't, that's not my problem. I may not like it, but it's not my issue. I'm like, somebody else can do that. I'm not going to do it.
But I think everyone is saying that. Clearly. If there's so many unlicensed stylists, then everyone is saying that it's fine.
Right. Well, yeah, basically. So, but then I think it's such a complex
I know it is,
topic.
Which is why this is an aggressive question to ask you. But I think it's worth being asked.
No, absolutely. And I love that you asked. I wouldn't do it. I may not like it, but it's not like I'm on set and I'm like, this person isn't, I'm just like, that's your own thing to figure out, not mine.
In a perfect world, if it were reformed.
Oh, I think a lot of things would be avoided, a lot of accidents on set.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like what?
I mean, people accidentally snip a piece of hair and oops. I think, cleanliness, that's a really big thing. Cleanliness. Yeah.
It's weird because you go to school and you're like, what the hell am I learning? I feel like I'm just learning how to disinfect everything. And that's literally all you learn. I'll take that back because I went to Paul Mitchell and I learned a bit more, but it feels like for a period of time, all you're learning is about sanitation and disinfection. And it's the best thing you could possibly learn. Like, I'm into skincare, very deeply.
Love. Okay, love.
And it carries over. Like, all of that information about cleanliness, it carries over into any other aspect of self-care that you want to entertain.
Yeah.
And so I actually do appreciate school for that.
Exactly.
And the chemistry.
Exactly. And you learn things in school that you go through a lot of trial and error that you don't have to go through on people when you're on set if you're not licensed. You know what I mean? There's avoidable things, or learning about product, learning about certain hair textures. You learn about everything from A to Z, and you learn, okay, this hair absorbs, this hair doesn't absorb, this, and I think that's very important in the game of hair, I think.
I think it's very important.
And makeup. I mean, when you sit and think about it, makeup artists aren't licensed.
Right. They're certified.
Certified some, but a lot of them are just They made it on TikTok, YouTube, and now they're doing other people's faces.
It's true.
You know, which is great. Slay. I mean, a lot of them kill it.
It's way less regulated, but I think it's also because of like less sharp objects and, you know, less chemicals.
Yeah, but there are some messy makeup artists.
Work.
You know, who don't clean their brushes and who don't, like, they're just reusing and dipping in the same lipstick that they used on 7 people or using it on them. You know,
reform.
You know?
We're reform. We're gonna honestly, in a lot of these hair conversations, have a lot of conversations about reform because I do think there's certain things that, not as a condemnation on any beauty artists that feel like this is their passion. It is not that. It is more so to get us unified under an entire structure of knowledge. Because if we all know the same thing, we are all better together. It's not, I understand there's competition. I understand that. But underneath that, because I think I see that as a veneer, there's more artistry than there is competition. And so being under the same umbrella of knowledge actually unifies us. It doesn't divide us. And it's not about like anyone being better than anyone else. It's more so creating the best, safest space for both the providers and the clients.
Right. Yeah.
And honestly, I think it's a really big question, at least on set, of who is in charge of regulating that? Because I think what you're saying is like, I wouldn't say it, Karma. And you know what? Fair. It's probably not your place to say it, but it's probably someone on the production's place to say it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think so. I think like
it's probably on the state board even to hold them accountable to saying it.
To hold anybody. That's like somebody becoming a lawyer without going to law school. It's like, okay, yeah, you could probably do it and study it and read the books and all of that, but it's different.
But you got to pass the bar, babe.
You got to pass the bar for a reason. That's why there's a bar. That's why there's a cosmetology license.
And you know what? I'm so curious. More ASMR. What I'm so curious to know is I've heard all of these rumors about the test changing and about school changing. Yeah. I really need the tea, and that's why I want to sit down with these teachers and like ex-teachers that are now salon owners.
Yeah.
I need the tea on what school was then, what school is now, for us to really flesh out and have this conversation about what we're doing. Because the state board is not the only person that has any power. Like, guess what? There's more of us stylists than there is of them.
Yeah.
Okay? And we have a say.
No, truly. Well, I do know even from when I took my state board till now, like I still was doing finger waves. Finger waves are not in the state board test anymore.
And I think you need to know a finger wave, babes.
You have, if you don't know how to do finger wave, go get your doll head right now and go practice, or get your sister, your brother, figure it out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Get a finger wave up in your bedroom, bathroom, kitchen.
Yes. Because and that's another thing, being a stylist, you should know all hair types. You should know all styles. You should know the eras. That's really important, because if someone's like an old Hollywood wave, you're not going to know. There's like several different eras of old Hollywood. What kind of old Hollywood? You want the 20s, the 40s, the 60s, the 70s, you know?
Girl, you're going to have to get into art history. And like, honestly, that is the point where you really should stress the fact that this is artistry. It's not just like an oil change, you know? You're going to have to know a little, art, a little fashion.
I think that both of those are very important. Listen, you can also be a stylist where you're doing the big bouncy blowouts and the beach waves and it's gorgeous and everything, but you're just going to be put in that box. And that's all you're going to get. And it gets boring.
And that's why even my memories from hair school, when people be like, no, I'm just going to cut, so I don't need to pay attention to this.
Yeah. Now they're probably colorists, right?
Who knows? But like, you could get bored.
Yeah, you can.
Really could get bored. It could feel overwhelming when you're first learning everything. So you decide to like jump to feeling like everything's under control by just picking a specialty. But you'll find that you're actually more talented and smarter than you thought you were.
Absolutely. And in the beginning, everything that you do for the first time is scary. But once you start doing it enough, I mean, I'm sure you could slay a highlight in 20 minutes and be like, boom, bam, I know what formula, I know what I'm doing. She's in, she's out.
Especially under pressure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Once you add pressure into the mix of any styling, you'll be really surprised about what happens.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So
miracles.
Miracles, babes. Miracles. You want a partial? We're going to give you a partial.
That's right. Have you ever had to break people out of their mold to do some of the looks that you put on Instagram? To get them comfortable with some of those beautiful avant-garde looks? Or were they ready to do it?
I would say maybe a couple of them, but I feel like most people like know my work and they know I'm not gonna do we love a big blowout, but like I'm not going to do that. So it's like if I'm reaching out or someone's like, oh, she's going to be doing hair, like then they should be prepared. Like it might not be something simple.
So having a calling card is really important. Like showing your work is really important so people know who is walking in and what to be expected.
Absolutely. I did have an incident happen though last week. Yeah,
recent?
Last week. Yeah, or the week before. The model was lovely, beautiful. Oh my God. Like butter. She was just beautiful. And it was a collab and, I was excited to do something. And then when I did it, she hated it.
Ooh. Like an emotional no.
Like she was like, no, no. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So then I did something very, 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 very simple, like very simple. It looked beautiful regardless. Like she's a beautiful girl. She could wear the look. But she was like, oh, do you think you could like kind of tone it down in a way? And I was like, babe, like you either want editorial, this is editorial fashion, or we can go this route. And she was like, yeah, I think I want to go like the safer route. And I was like, fair enough. So that was my first time having that happen. I've never had that happen where a model like was so disappointed in how she looked.
How did you feel and what did you learn?
It made me feel, I mean, always I think there's a little part of us that like, we're like, what did I do? Or what didn't I do? But
never like get it together and like it. Just kidding.
No. Sometimes. Depending on the person.
I have to be the little devil here. I should have two devil horns right now.
Yeah, it kind of like I felt myself like I was kind of like taken aback. Like I was like, oh, I was like, I think it looks cool. But again, it's hard because I think as a model, well, I have a couple opinions about it. Okay. So number one, she's a model. So, and if you're collabing with somebody, you're going to wear whatever I'm going to put on you.
Collab etiquette.
Yeah. Because you're the model and the whole job of a model is to work whatever look is being put on you, even if you absolutely despise it. That's your job. Just like how my job is to create something that either people want to see, replicate something, whatever it might be. But so I think I was a little disappointed because I was like, you're not doing your job. And that kind of upset me. What I learned from it though was that sometimes that's going to happen. And I also know that like I'm not everybody's taste and I'm more than okay with that. as a person and doing hair, you know? I think maybe me and her just weren't on the same plane, and that happens too. Salon set etiquette, you know, you have to have thick skin. You have to know that like you're not going to be everybody's favorite, and you have to be okay with that. So yeah, I learned that not everybody's going to like it. Not everybody's going to want to wear what you think is cool. And
was that really the first time it had happened?
In that situation, yeah.
Got you.
Because again, like when I go into doing collabs, like it's a collab. So it's a collective effort from each person. So the photographer is going to shoot it the way he wants to shoot it, or they want to shoot it. The makeup artist is going to do what they want to do. The hairstylist is going to do what I want to do. And we're hiring the model because you're going to wear what we're putting on you. But I couldn't say anything because it wasn't my place, you know, like I got brought on last minute. And so I just was like, you know what, whatever it is. Like I had to just let it go. I was like, I can't harp on it. I can't be upset about it. You know, I took a deep breath. I rolled my eyes and I was like, it's fine.
Yeah. And honestly, that it's not personal is really big.
I think that's probably the biggest thing in freelancing is you cannot take anything at any expense personal. The only thing you take personal is getting paid. That's about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep, actually. Yeah. And I think that is, if you wanted to become a freelancer, that would be really, really, really good to know starting out.
Yeah. Like I said, you have to have really thick skin. Yeah. It's not just like you're lollygagging around, and you're also dealing with people who, you know, once you get to a certain point, I mean, you're dealing with like these people who have been doing it for years, and they're part of big brands and big businesses and just bigger people, you know, on a different scale. And so, yeah, you have to
develop that.
Yeah. You definitely got to have thick skin for it.
So I have a few questions that I ask at the end of every podcast.
Okay.
And the first one is, what does beauty mean to you?
Beauty? Oh, what does beauty mean to me? I think beauty is such a big word, and the beauty industry is huge. Does that mean? I'm like...
It makes perfect sense. I like the idea of owning it, because when you say beauty means whatever you want it to mean, that sounds to me like I own it and I say, and what I say beauty is what it is.
Yeah. So like I think there's beauty in everything. I think that there's the flowers, you know, I think that there's beauty in the salon, in your eyes.
We may just have a crush on each other. Wow. Slide into people's DMs. You never know what's going to happen.
You never know.
And the last question is,
yes,
if Rachel Lita now could go talk to Rachel 11 years old putting on her mom's color, what would you tell her?
Don't stress, baby girl. It's going to be okay.
I would like to hear that song when I was 11. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't you worry about a thing. Baby. That's... Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like a funk song.
It's the best song. It's the best song.
Yeah. I would just say, life is short. Enjoy. And keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Time flew by. I actually felt time fly. Rachel, tell them where they can find you.
Okay. My socials are on all platforms is just Rachel Lita Hair. And that's RACHELLITA hair.
She is so easy to find and so easy to follow. It will absolutely delight you on your feed.
Yeah.
And it will definitely expand your mind about what you can do with your hair. I think you should give us a subscribe. Thank you for listening. This has been the Beauty Ritual Podcast. You can find me on Instagram at beauty_ritual, and we'll see you next time.